WhoBob WhatPants. Later, on his way out, SpongeBob bumped right into his best friend, Patrick. "Oh, hey, Patrick. How goes it?" SpongeBob asked. "Great, until you showed up," muttered Patrick. "That was a cake for my mom's birthday." He continued, pointing to his chocolate-covered belly. "That's a lot. Now please go away." "Good morning, Gary," sang SpongeBob. "Isn't life great?" he asked. Picked up Gary and hugged him a little too tightly. Gary let out a loud growl. SpongeBob frowned and walked away. Next, he visited his good friend Squidward. Squidward just slammed the door. SpongeBob felt even worse than he did before. He knew Sandy would be happy to see him, but as he walked into her to treat him, he tipped and splashed the water to his helmet, all over his brand new robot. Sandy's face turned red with anger. "Just go," he snarled. There was only one hope left. That's Krusty Krab. But as he entered the kitchen, SpongeBob slipped and slid across the floor and knocked Mr. Krabs' crisp dollar bills right from his fire. "If I were you, lad, I'd get as far away from me as possible," Mr. Krabs backed. Miserable, SpongeBob decided it was time to leave Bikini Bottom forever. "Goodbye, Bikini Bottom," SpongeBob called out. "Goodbye, life as I know it." After miles of walking, SpongeBob found himself in a familiar place. There was new sounds, scary creatures. It was dark, and suddenly SpongeBob heard a loud noise. Afraid, he ran away as fast as he could. He ran. SpongeBob tripped at his rock, tumbled down a tall cliff, bumped his head far way down. Meanwhile, back in Bikini Bottom, Patrick was knocked on SpongeBob's door when Sandy appeared. "Patrick, where's SpongeBob?" she asked. "I don't know. I've been knocking on his door for 3 hours. Worried?" She gave the door a quick karate chop. Boom, the door came crashing down. Inside, an oversized Gary let out a meow. "Oh boy," cried Sandy. Gary said SpongeBob left a note. "To whom it may concern, I found a little letter. What Gary means, Gary's fibble. It's empty and that needs to be refilled. It also means it needs to be approximately 1 year since I've had split town and one note till now. No one needs to worry. I won't bother anyone again. Sincerely, SpongeBob." He's gone. I shouldn't have yelled at SpongeBob. Sandy melted. I must have given him feeling really bad. "Me too," said Patrick. "We have to find him," said Vanny. "Come on, let's start searching." Sandy and Patrick checked the Krusty Krab. SpongeBob wasn't there, but there was a lot of hungry customers who wanted their Krabby Patties. Mr. Krabby was really worried. He knew that Krusty Krab wouldn't survive without SpongeBob. "I'm nothing about my number one fry cook," says Mr. Krabs, Squidward. "I'm only one to find him. If you don't know, I'll be out of the job forever. If you do find him, this jewel-encrusted egg will be yours to keep." "A jewel-encrusted egg?" asked Squidward, looking longingly at the egg. "My collection will finally be complete. On my way, sir." Back in the unfamiliar seas, SpongeBob finally opened his eyes, rubbed a large bump on his head. Then he noticed 2 fish kneeling down. Looking at a pile of SquarePants, he knew over to say hello. "Oh, hello, we're just admiring your clothes," the fish told him. "These are your brown pants, aren't they?" Showing him a pile of pants. "I can't remember. I don't even know my name," said SpongeBob. "All I know is I hit my head and woke up here." "That's too bad. Let's call you Cheesehead Brown Pants." Just then, SpongeBob felt something in his pockets. "Hey, what's this?" he said, pulling out a bottle of bubbles and blowing wad. "No bubbles," shouted the new friends. They ran away. SpongeBob started walking. Soon he found himself in a new Kelp City. His stomach began to growl loudly. He needed food. He needed a penny in his pockets. There was only one thing to do on the job. That his fantastic bubble-blowing skills made every employee run away for fear. "I don't understand," thought SpongeBob. "Is something wrong in this place, or is it me?" SpongeBob began walking around the city aimlessly. To cheer himself up, he took his trusty bubbles and began to blow. Bubbles will steady old nerves. To himself, Boop, feeling better already. Then out of the dark shadows came a group of scared-looking fish. They were big and they were mean. They didn't want any bubbles on their turf. They called themselves the Bubble Poppin' Boys, and they tried to catch SpongeBob, so he ran away as fast as he could. Then SpongeBob had an idea. He blew the biggest bubble ever, caught Bubble Poppin' Boys inside, a foot far, far away, them inside, never to return. Citizens of New Kelp flooded the streets with bubbles and celebration. Thank you, Cheesehead Brown Pants. The mayor said to SpongeBob, you have restored the bubble blowing to the streets. I appoint you the new mayor. Meanwhile, Sandy, Squidward, Patrick continued each search. There he is, claimed Sandy. On the cover of the newspaper, he's mayor of New Kelp City. We've got to get through here quickly. When Sandy, Patrick, and Squidward got there, they were shocked by what they would see and heard. Citizens of New Kelp City, announced SpongeBob over the microphone. I'm not exactly sure what the mayor is, but as long as I'm wearing this hat, it will always be safe to blow bubbles in the New Kelp City. Or my name isn't Cheesehead Brown Pants. Cheesehead Brown Pants, said Sandy. Who are you? Asked SpongeBob. Where are your best friends? Said Patrick. Sorry. All I remember is sitting in my head, blowing bubbles. Now, poof, I'm mayor. You must have lost your memory when you hit your head, said Vanity. Come back to Bikini Bottom with us. We're all real sorry to yell at you, buddy. I'm sorry, replied SpongeBob. I can't leave. I'm late for a very, very important meeting. With SpongeBob hopped in the mayor's limousine, with us waiting for him. Good thing Squidward was in the driver's seat. Don't just stand there. He called Sandy and Patrick to get in. And off they rode back to Bikini Bottom. Start frying up the patties, yelled Mr. Krabs cheerful when he saw SpongeBob come through the door. Oh, was a fry cook before, said SpongeBob, impressed. Yes, lad, the best in the business, replied Mr. Krabs proudly. Well, I'm going back to my modest job as mayor. SpongeBob nodded, dropping spatula to the floor. New Kelp City needs me. Mr. Krabs, said Squidward, with delight. I was back to the number one fry cook. You've got to pay up. All right, it's a deal, it's a deal. Mr. Krabs grumpily handling the golden egg over Squidward. As Squidward walked toward the door, staring at the prized possession, Chipto Spalta SpongeBob had dropped. His precious egg went soaring through the air and hit SpongeBob smack on top of his head. You okay, SpongeBob? Asked Sandy. Just a bit of headache, Sandy, answered SpongeBob. Well, time to get to work. Patrick, Sandy, and Mr. Krabs all jumped with excitement. They were thrilled to have him back. Everyone was so happy that SpongeBob was back home. Order up, he called cheerfully behind window of Krusty Krab kitchen. Things were falling back to normal in Bikini Bottom.